Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy, and today we're going to talk about the books that I hope and I plan to read in the month of March. So, I definitely overloaded myself in February, and yeah, so I'm definitely going to try to pare back a lot this month to allow for more mood reading. My reading also slowed down a lot in February. If you have not seen one of my weekly vlogs, one of the latest ones, I've got all of these huge boxes behind me. These are from the storage unit that was my mom's stuff from when she passed away, as well as my stuff from my previous apartment before I moved to Fort Collins and before she passed away. So I have this huge project to start kind of going through boxes and figuring out what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of and donating and all that good stuff. So hopefully I will have things wrapped up by the middle of the month and organized and taken care of. So I plan on picking up a lot of audiobooks when there aren't like avalanche games going on. But let's just talk about the books that I really want to read. So first off, we've got my read-alongs, and I'm only doing 2-ish this month. So the first, there hasn't been an official date announced, but as long as I read it by like the 24th, I should be good. And that is the Ilona Andrews read along. We are currently working through the Innkeeper Chronicles series, and this is book 3, One Fell Sweep. I plan on once again reading this physically as well as listening to the graphic audio because they are available on Hoopla. And I'm super excited to see what's going on. I am really hoping that we get more time with Sean and we really kind of start amping up the romance between Sean and Dina, but I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next. And I mean, the cover is gorgeous. It's just so pretty. And I'm excited to see what happens next because who knows what's going to happen, but I'm very happy to go back to Gertrude Hunt and see what happens. So I cannot wait to read that. The other big read-along that I am doing, and I can't believe we're on our final one, is the SJM-along, and we're at our final book, House of Sky and Breath, Crescent City, book number 2. This is going to be on Jenn from the Book Refuges channel on March 31st at 5 p.m. my time, Mountain Time, and it's 6 p.m. Central Time, which is her time. I'm excited to read this. I don't know what I'm going to do next month and moving forward. I don't know what I'm going to do without having an SJM book a month to read. I might have to start rereading some things, but I am very, very excited to read this. And I'm also very, very excited to, after we get through this and we get done discussing this book, to kind of rehash all of the theories and talk about everything as a whole. And it'll be so much fun because we won't have to worry about spoilers anymore. And so I already have this checked out from my library because I wanted to jump on it, but I'm going to try to wait as close as I can to the live show to pick it up. But I cannot wait for it. And I don't know when the paperback is. I have all of her books in paperback. That's just what I've been buying. Although it looks like there might be some new paperbacks announced. So we'll see what kind of happens because she announced some international paperbacks for Crescent City. So I don't know what's we'll keep an eye out and see what's going on there. And then the other read-along, now technically February 28th was when the Vampire Academy read-along was supposed to take place, but it has since been, what has it been? It's been postponed, which is perfect because I ended up not being able to finish the last book, which is Last Sacrifice. I have it checked out. I'm like 10% into it, but as we were reaching the end of February, I was like, there are other books I have to get done first, and I wasn't going to be able to participate in the live show live because it was going to be happening during work. So I was like, I'll just take my time reading the last book and watch the replay later. But now it's been postponed. So this will be one of the first books I try to pick up. And that will be in the beginning of March. So I need to finish this one ASAP because who knows when the live show will be rescheduled, and I'm dying. So give me 1 second. Okay, I had to shift over slightly so I can have things plugged in while we record. But yeah, so those are all the read-alongs I plan on taking part of for March. As for my current quarterly reading challenges, yearly challenges kind of happening. I am participating in a couple challenges through the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group on Goodreads. So we are currently quarterly challenge-wise in the midst of the Starbucks quarterly challenge, and that runs through March 14th. And I only have 1 or 2 prompts left to finish that, which should be easy to hit. Then the other quarterly challenges I'm working on is Read What You Own. This is hosted by Izzy and Shae. And there might be 1 or 2 other people who are hosting it now. It just was Izzy, but I know at least Shae joined in. I'll have everybody linked down below. And so this is the final month. So this runs through the end of March. And then also through the end of March is the Bookcase and Coffee, which is also the Buzzing About Romance podcast. They are currently in their New to You author challenge. And the minimum requirement is to read 2 new to you authors a month. And this is also ending end of March. So I just need to read 2 new authors, and then I could submit all the new authors I read for this month to win potential prizes. Okay. We have one readathon, but before we talked about the readathon, I'm going to jump to new releases that I'm really excited about. There's quite a few books I'm excited about coming out in March, but the one I will probably pick up as soon as it releases is Black Hellebore by Grace Draven. This was originally supposed to come out February 14th, but it ended up being postponed until March 14th. So I'm hoping it won't get postponed again. I know Grace is dealing with some health stuff, but I cannot wait to read this. This is going to be, I think, 3.5 in the Wraith King series, which is the Radiance and Eidolon series, if you did not know. And this one is going back to Brishan and Ildiko, and this is going to be setting up the next book, which should be the Nomos King. But when she announced this in her newsletter, she said that you'll want to read this because it's going to be setting stuff up for the next book. Who knows when we'll get the next book, but I'm just excited to have more new Grace Draven and more in this series because I love them. And I love Brishan and Ildiko. So I'm very, very excited for that. As for other new releases, I have 2 that actually came out the end of February that I really, really want to read. So the first is Vivian Lorette's final book in her Mating Habits of Scoundrels series, Never Seduce a Duke. And yes, I got the pre-order swag of the bookmark. And then I also got a signed book plate. So, I have plans for this one, but I'm hoping to pick this one ASAP. And then the other new release I really want to pick up is Lorraine Heath's The Counterfeit Scoundrel. This is the first book in her new series, The Chessmen. Yep, The Chessmen Masters of Seduction. So I'm really excited for this one as well. I love Lorraine Heath. So yeah, I would like to read those 2 at some point this month as well. And there's also Stacy Reed's new release. I'm going to pop the cover here. I ordered the paperback, but it's not supposed to show up till the day after I'm filming this. But I'm very, very excited for this. I'm a big fan of Stacy Reed. I love her paranormals. I love her historicals. And she recently did a author interview with Jenn on the Book Refuge. I'll link the video up above if you haven't seen it. And she announced or kind of teased that this is supposed to be part of a series or a trilogy or something. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited for this. And Jenn got an arc of this, and I mean, I was going to read it anyway because it's Stacy Reed, but based off what Jenn said, I'm very excited for this as well. And that is really kind of it for my TBR kind of stuff. Oh, I did forget a couple challenges. I'm also participating in Romanceopoly, which is a year-long challenge. I haven't gotten too many prompts done so far. The current prompt I have open is City Lane, which is one of the fantasy prompts, and it's read a fantasy that doesn't involve magic. If you have a rec for a fantasy that doesn't involve magic, please let me know. I have been super stumped. I've been trying to find some, and I feel like a big part of fantasy is magic. So please let me know if you have a potential idea for this. I'm also taking a part in Guildathon, and just kind of continuing to read what I can and apply books to whatever prompts are going on. So I'm having fun with that. And I'm actually potentially taking over the guild I'm a part of because our current guild master is stepping aside. So we'll see what's kind of going on there. It's kind of been, I said I would help out or potentially take over where she kind of needed me to, but it's been a couple weeks and it's kind of, everyone's kind of a little slow moving, and I'm like, what's going on? But I don't want to bother anybody. But so that's still kind of in the works here. And then we need to do my Yahtzee roll. So this has been, I think it's the 13th month challenge. It's definitely just over a year. And this is also a part of the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group on Goodreads. It started in March of 2022, and this will be the final month. And what this is, I'm assuming in April, they'll start the next round of this because it seems like they've done this for a couple of years in a row. But you roll your 5 D6s, your 5 Yahtzee dice like normal. This is only 1 book a month, which is nice. And then whatever you roll, you can apply it to whatever the goal is, like in a Yahtzee game. However, each goal has a different prompt. Now, like I said, this is the final month. So the only prompt I have left remaining is 4s. So we need to roll at least 3 4s. But there are some alternative prompts if we don't meet it. So I have notes of what those are, but let's go ahead and get rolling, and hopefully we'll get the 4s. I've only had to use 1 alternative prompt, and that's because I applied last month to the Yahtzee. All right, so I've got the 5 D6 that I picked out a year ago, which is crazy. Okay. Oh, all right. So we've got 1 1 4 4 6. Okay, good. So we just need 1 more 4, and then we can apply it to our 4s because they required that you have at least 3 when you apply it to the number ones, which is kind of silly to me. It should have been, because it can just be 1, but in Yahtzee, but whatever. All right, and then 1 2 6, and I should be noting these down because I like to keep track. So we had, what was it? 1 4 4 6. I'm missing a number. I'll have to rewatch the video and see where we're at. And then when I re-rolled, I got a 1 and a 2 and a 6. So we will re-roll all of those again and see what we end up with. 1 4. Come on, give me 1 4. Hey, 3 4 5. Fun, but we got the 4. So that is 3 4 5. So we do get 4s. Perfect. So the prompt for 4s is pretty simple, and it's a forward title or 4th book in a series, of which I've mentioned at least 1. Okay. Yep. So this is a forward title, Never Seduce a Duke. So I have to read this during the month of March. Perfect. And then the final thing I want to chat about real quick is the Romance Takeover Readathon is happening. That's the only readathon I know of so far that I'm going to be participating in during March. This is once again created by Jenn from the Book Refuge, and her host for this round, let me pull up my notes here, are going to be Tiffany, who's Tiff Talks Pages or Neverland Pixie, Christy from Christy Reads a Lot, and Rachel from Rachel Reads and Sings. She's once again doing a build your own bingo board with a whole different list of prompts, and there's a 3x3 board and a 4x4 board. And this will run from March 6th through March 12th, which is perfect because it's early in the month before I have my required reading to be done. And yeah, so here's the bingo board I created. So we have 5-star prediction, fantasy romance, a backlist title from an author you love, historical romance, next book in a series, new release, audiobook, novella, and a host recommendation. Now, this one, I have 3 for sure books I would like to read for this. And I'm going to just kind of keep it as there and then mood read the rest. So if I just can't help myself and read it before the readathon starts, okay. But I'm planning on picking up Never Seduce a Duke for the readathon because I really want to read this book. I can't wait to read this book. And maybe I'll start the readathon early on that Sunday because it starts on a Monday. So maybe I'll be sneaky and start it Sunday night. But yeah, I plan on reading this during the readathon. But like I said, I could just not help myself and pick it up before the readathon starts. But we'll see. Then I also plan on picking up during the readathon. Finally, I keep saying I need to read this, and I still haven't, The Ugly Stepsister by Megan Van Dyke. This is the second book in her Reimagined Fairy Tales series. This was one of my most anticipated reads since September or whenever this was released, and I still have not gotten to it. I wanted to read it during Pharaoh Feb, but Pharaoh Feb was a big fail on my part this year. And so I definitely need to read this because the third book is coming in April. So it is time to get it done. And I'm very excited for it. And then I did pull a couple other books, but we'll talk about my other must read. And I am going to pick up The Takeover by T.L. Swan. This works for host recommendation. Jenn loves this book. I've heard her talk about it a lot. It's kind of come back and making the rounds in some of her videos and her talking about it because there's going to be an epilogue novella bind up thing coming out soon for the series. So I thought it's Romance Takeover. This book is The Takeover and it's a favorite of Jenn's and it sounds super cute. So I'm excited to finally try it. And it's been on my TBR since I've heard her gushing about it. And yeah, so I plan on reading that. So those are the 3 must-read books for me during the readathon. And then I did pull a couple more because every time I read a Vivian Lorette book, I always am just I forget how much I love Vivian Lorette, even though I'm constantly she's one of my favorite authors. She's one of my favorite historical authors. There's just something about her writing that just is so cozy to me. And every time I read one of her books, I end up going on a mini binge of her backlist. So I still have not completed her first series. So I might possibly, if I end up going through a little Vivian Lorette binge, will be picking up the second book. So her first series is The Wallflower Wedding. So I have book 2, Winning Miss Wakefield, and I have book 3, Finding Miss McFarlane. So I've got books 2 and 3 left in the series. And then her second series, I haven't read books 2 and 3 or a couple of the books in her second series. And then her backlist is complete for me. So, but I kind of want to reread all of the books in the second series and then her third series and then her fourth series, which is the first series. That's, I think Seasons Original or whatever is her fourth series. And that was the first series I read from her. And then that leads into her Mating Habits of Scoundrel. And then her next series is supposed to start at the end of this year after Mating Habits of Scandal. So as you can tell, I love Vivi and the Red. And I definitely want to try to get caught up in her backlist. So these aren't must-reads. These are eventually must-reads for me, but they aren't going to be pressing during the readathon. I'm just saying, I can see myself going on a Vivi and the Red binge. For sure. And it's been a while since I've been historical romance because I completely didn't realize when the last run of the historical romance readathon happened and I missed it. So, yeah, that's that. And that's what I have there. There is one other-ish book I plan to read. I had plans to do a 3-book reading vlog during February of new to me fantasy authors. However, when I'm currently filming this, I have clips for 2 books. So I'm hoping to, during that first week of March, before the readathon starts, pick up a new to me author, fantasy author. I have a couple picked out. I just need to choose one of what's available here to me and read that. I don't know what it's going to be quite yet, but I need to get that book read to finish out that vlog and get that posted because that was supposed to be up at the end of February and it's obviously not February anymore. But that's fine. Things happened and my reading slowed way down in February. But I'm hoping that once I can kind of get some of this other life stuff dealt with and other plans going on, I'm just ready to just be able to sit and read all the time. And I'm over all these projects I keep starting and having to take care of. But once they're done, I cannot wait to just get back to just being able to read all the time. So yeah, I will stop blabbering at you. If you are a romance reader or watcher or viewer or whatever, I don't know where I'm going with this. What am I saying? Please let me know what your most anticipated book for March is, whether off your TBR, off of new releases, whatever you would like to talk about, or whatever anticipated read you're excited for. Let me know down below. If you'd like to leave me an emoji, leave me your favorite heart emoji, whether it's a color, whether it's a grouping, whether it's an emoji face with hearts on it or blowing the kiss heart or whatever, because I'm just kind of feeling the romancy mood. And for Romance Takeover, I'm excited for that readathon. And I just realized I never mentioned the Ilona Andrews read-along is hosted by Heather from Hia Booktubes, Megan who's Meowth Vader, Izzy from Happy for Now, and Stef from Novelty Corner. I'm really sorry I didn't mention you ladies beforehand. I'm so excited about these books and I'm just like blah and losing my mind. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all soon with another video.